Look at your last grocery receipt, your rent, the price of fuel, concert tickets you almost bought. Every one of these numbers was set by the same two forces, not by a company deciding to be greedy, not by the government, by something quieter, and once you see it, you will never look at the price the same way again. This is supply and demand. And I know it sounds like a school topic, but it is actually the closest things the economy has to a law of physics. And here is the whole idea in one line. Prices move when the balance between how much people want something and how much of it exists changes. That's it. Everything else is detail. Let's start with demand. Demand is how much of something people want, and crucially, how much they are actually willing to pay for it. Not wishfully wanting, but real wanting, backed by money. And imagine a new iPhone drops and millions line up. That is demand. When nobody wants last year's model, demand fell. Now, supply. Supply is how much of something is available to buy. The number of apartments in a city, the seats on a flight, the barrels of oil being pumped, and the sneakers a brand actually produces. And price is what happens when those two meet. Watch what happens when demand raises. When more people want the same thing but the amount available hasn't changed, suddenly buyers are competing with each other. Someone offers a little more, the price climbs a little, and another one a little bit more. And think, for example, concert tickets for a huge artist, Bad Bunny. Same number of seats, enormous demand, price goes vertical. Now flip it, demand stays the same, but supply falls. A harvest fails, and a factory shuts down. Fewer homes get built, fewer goods, same number of buyers, and again, people compete, and the price rises. And this is where shortages come from, and a shortage isn't random. A shortage is just demand sitting higher than supply at the current price. People want more than exists at the number, so either the price raises until it cools down, or you get empty shelves and waiting lists. The opposite is a surplus. Too much of something, not enough buyers at that price, so the price drops. Think of end-of-season clothes or a product nobody bought. Discounts appear until the stuff finally moves. Most of the time, prices drift toward a middle point. Economists call it equilibrium. You don't need the word, just picture the price where the amount of people want roughly matches the amount available. So nobody is fighting over it, shelves aren't empty, and markets are always being nudged toward that balance and knocked away from it. Here is the part that makes this genuinely useful. Prices aren't just numbers, they are signals. A rising price is the economy shouting, "We need more of this," and quietly telling producers there is money to be made. A falling price says, "We have enough, slow down." Prices carry information. They coordinate millions of people who never speak to each other directly, and this is why the same logic explains things that seem unrelated. Wages? That's supply and demand for a skill. Rare in demand, skill pays more. Housing? Demand for a city versus how much it is allowed to build. Energy? Supply shocks heating, steady demand. Flights, restaurants, cars, they all run in the same engine. So what makes supply and demand shift? A few usual suspects. Technology can make supply cheaper and bigger. Weather can wipe it out. Regulation can expand or restrict it. And on the demand side, incomes change, tastes change, and a sudden shock can swing both at once. But here is the honest part. Supply and demand explains the direction of prices incredibly well. It does not explain every detail. It won't give you the exact number next month. It won't capture every messy human decision. It's a lens, a powerful one, but not a crystal ball. So here is what to actually walk away with. A price is not just a cost, it is a live readout of how much the world wants something versus how much of it there is. Next time a price moves, don't ask, who do I blame? Ask, did demand change or did supply change? That one question will explain more of the economy than most headlines ever will. If this made prices click for you, the rest of this channel breaks down the economy the exact same way, one clear idea at a time. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao!